was accidentally invited to a dark web video call. I didn't mean to click the link. When I received a random email containing a strange link, I knew it was some kind of a virus. Yet, when I moved my mouse to delete the message, my finger slipped. I pressed the link, and immediately my screen went black. I began to mentally prepare myself to lose all my personal files, but as I went to shut off the PC, my screen changed. A pop-up appeared resembling a Zoom call, but without any Zoom branding. The largest video feed with a sign dangling close enough to the camera for me to read, "Please wait, meeting will begin temporarily." I always had my webcam blocked, and for that I was glad, for the other feeds began turning on, and I definitely didn't fit into this group of freaks. No one had their faces exposed. Everything from glittery half masks you'd expect at a masquerade to disturbing rubber clown masks. I would have been the odd one out if they saw me, and I already knew I didn't want them to see me. Some of them clearly knew each other, greeting each other like old friends, but there were also some newbies like myself. I discreetly managed to mute my mic before there was any chance they'd hear my voice. "Oh, number 1203, you're also new, what can we call you?" Unfortunately, I was called out by a lady labeled Trist, who wore this jester mask that covered her entire head. I almost panicked before I realized there was a chat box. Thanking my lucky stars, I decided that would be my name. I typed Lucky Star in the chat. "Great to meet you, Lucky Star. I'm glad you've accepted the invitation. I'll change your screen name real quick." I figured the best choice would be to sit through this and then skedaddle the moment it was all over. It would be way too awkward to leave now that I had a nickname and everything. Everyone seemed friendly enough. I got a few hellos, and someone in a pig mask managed to snort and say my name at the same time. It was kinda entertaining, and it wasn't like I had anything better to do. God, how I'd regret that. The sign in front of the largest feed twitched before it was yanked from the picture. Chatter spiked before everyone started shushing each other and muting their mics. It was like the lights dimming in a theater. Time to be quiet. The show was about to begin. A man walked into the frame, and like the others here, he was wearing a mask as well. It was a wolf mask. It covered the upper half of his face and appeared to be made of wood. When he spoke, his low voice was quiet, but it commanded respect. "Good to see we've all made it. I hope our new friends are ready to participate." I didn't like the sound of that. I wanted to close out of the call right then and there, but that's when I realized there wasn't a hang-up button. Nope. I had to ride this one out with everyone else and pray I would go overlooked. The host, who I now realized was labeled Wolf, vanished. There were some banging sounds, and then Wolf dragged a person tied to a chair in front of the camera. Yeah, I realized pretty quickly this was nothing I wanted to be a part of. Now, our guests need to decide what we do. Wolf approached the camera, and I saw his eyes through the mask. They were cold and unfeeling. He glanced over the screen. "Piggy pig pig, what should we do first?" Piggy squealed and barely managed to make out the words, fingers and off between the pig-like grunts. "Basic. Good start, though." Wolf disappeared again, but he wasn't gone for more than a few seconds before he returned with a cleaver. He didn't hesitate before bringing them down on his victim's right hand. Off came the fingers. The whole room cheered, and I puked on the floor. The poor tied-up bastard wailed, begging the wolf to let him go. Wolf didn't care what he wanted. He just turned to the chat again. "And what should we do now?" Barn suggested Wolf tear out his teeth. Wolf produced some pliers and ripped out all of the victim's front teeth, leaving his mouth a bloody, mangled mess. Another viewer suggested they cut off his ears. It was done. I vomited again. I wanted this to be over. Then Wolf called on me. "Lucky Star, I understand you're shy about your voice. That's all right. Just type whatever you're thinking into the box." Cold sweat poured down my neck. I felt all eyes metaphorically on me. If I didn't say something, they'd get suspicious, and I didn't want to be the next one in the chair. So I gulped down the bile in my throat and typed out the first thing that came to mind. "Can you stick his fingers in his ear holes?" There was a brief pause, and then Wolf laughed. It was the most disturbing sound I'd ever heard. The rest of the room joined in the laughter, and I thought for a second I'd fucked up. "That's a new one," the wolf chuckled. "We should have invited you sooner. I love the creativity." That settled. Wolf picked up one of the thumbs and proceeded to force it deep into the man's ear. The sound that poor bastard made will haunt my nightmares forever. A pointer finger joined it, and in the other ear he managed to fit 2 pinkies and an index. The man started howling, and Wolf chuckled again. "He's deaf now. I think I popped his eardrums with that." The show continued, finally ending with Trist saying the time was up and Wolf should wrap things up. Wolf nodded before he took a knife and cut the victim's throat. By that point, it was a mercy killing. Wolf waved goodbye. I thought that was finally it. I could forget I ever saw any of this, but he signed off with a message that made my blood run cold. "Good night, everyone. And as tradition, I can't wait for Lucky Star to host the next one."